We're coming up to the top of the hour here in Newport News. It's almost 7 o'clock on the peninsula, and that means it's almost time for Lionsbridge FC Soccer here on Facebook Live and Lionsbridge FC's Facebook page. I'm Rob Smith, joined by Patrick Garber here in the booth, and it is a beautiful night for soccer. Patrick, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Rob. Glad to be back here again tonight.
It has absolutely been it's been a while since we've been up here. Lionsbridge has had a couple of road games, and after a 2-week hiatus, we're back here on a Tuesday, which is abnormal, but we'll explain why a little bit if you haven't figured that one out already. And Patrick, before we get started into the actual contest, let's talk about the weather tonight. We've had kind of weird weather every single night of the year. We've had a soccer game on this pitch. We've had rain. We've had this weird foggy mist. We've had beautiful weather. We've had humid weather. Have we had weather better than it looks like we're going to have tonight?
I mean, it could be just a little bit cooler.
You just got to stop complaining.
Hey, I'm ready for tonight, man.
I think we all are certainly happy to be back in Newport News. I had a conversation with head coach Chris Wally earlier in the day, and he seemed to be certainly happy to have the home crowd back. Most importantly, he said that he feels that this Lionsbridge FC home crowd at Pomoco Stadium is one of the best in the division, if not the league. And they certainly are showing out tonight as Pomoco Stadium continues to fill up. It's a little bit of a hot evening. 85 degrees in Newport News. The sun will set around 8:27, so somewhere close to the halftime marker at the beginning of the second half, we'll see these shadows eclipse the field entirely. 67% humidity, and it feels like 93, but expect that temperature to go down, as I said, to about 80 degrees, 79 degrees come fireworks post-game. That's the other thing. Patrick, got fireworks coming tonight to celebrate the 4th of July tonight, July 3rd. Going into the 4th, tomorrow is a federal holiday, and so most of us enjoy the day off from work. And so today, essentially, it feels a lot like a Friday night.
I mean, maybe for you, but I got work tomorrow, so.
See, I have the day off tomorrow, so it feels like a Friday night for me. Don't have to get up at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Certainly happy about that, as I'm sure many of you at home listening are as well. And we'll continue to get into this contest. North Carolina FC, the top team in the South Atlantic Division with a record of 6-2-4, 22 points on the year. The goal differential of +7. They've got 22 goals on the year, 15 goals against. Lionsbridge FC with an offense that's similar here to the visitors from North Carolina, but a defense that has struggled comparatively, giving up 19 goals and scoring 21 of their own with a plus-minus of 2 on the positive side. They sit at third in the division, and a win tonight or a tie would certainly help their case as far as divisional placement as the year begins to come to a close. Only 2 more games remaining after tonight for Lionsbridge FC. As for North Carolina FC, they only have 1 more PDL contest, and that'll be in about 2 weeks, as next week seems to be their bye week. They'll close the year out, as everybody else will, on the July 13th, 14th, and 15th weekend. But let's talk about tonight's contest. Patrick, what are you looking forward to most before we get into starting lineups?
So tonight we are looking forward to seeing this Lionsbridge team. They have been scoring a lot of goals throughout the whole season, and I'm hoping that they can continue on tonight.
Before we get to starting lineups, first things first, be sure to stay connected with the very latest from Lionsbridge FC by following the team on social media. In addition to here on Facebook and at Facebook Live, be sure to follow Lionsbridge FC on Twitter and Instagram as well. Don't forget to use the hashtag #ThisIsOurBridge, and be sure to sign up for the team's email newsletter to get special offers from the club on lionsbridgefc.com/newsletter. Again, the hashtag #ThisIsOurBridge, and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Lionsbridge FC. So I talked to Chris Wally earlier in the day during my lunch break on the phone, and we'll kind of cover a little bit of what we had to talk about as the game goes on. But this is wall-to-wally, if you will. Lionsbridge FC wall-to-wally. Brought to you by that conversation we had earlier today. And we talked about the road trip first and foremost. Went 1-1 on the trip. Coach Wally certainly seemed to be happy with the way the team scored offensively, and said there were a few defensive breakdowns, and that's one of the things they've been working on here in practice and in training as of late. The two big words he used, Patrick, that I found interesting were clinical and ruthless. He's looking to get his team to be a little more clinical and a little more technical with the way they're playing the ball, but as well as maintaining this ruthless attitude on the field, continuing to stay aggressive, if you will, on the field. How do you see that playing out this evening after working on it, coming off the loss last week?
So coming off the loss, they will need to be more ruthless defensively. They ended up giving up 5 goals against Myrtle Beach, unfortunately. But like we said, they scored 3. It was just unfortunate. Myrtle Beach scored more goals. So they just got to keep being clinical up top. Jalen Brown's got to get going early. Get this crowd, this home crowd, into it.
That's the second thing we talked about. Coach Wally and I said happy to be home, appreciating the fan support. That seems to be one of the biggest things for this team, and one of the things we really harped on in our conversation, and we'll get into a little bit more in the game, is that being here in Newport News, it's not a tourism town per se, but it's certainly a great place to be from if you're looking for a PDL team to play for. Seems to be positive responses from all his players, and very little attrition. Not a lot of guys going elsewhere or deciding to leave and spending the rest of their summer off, which is always a good thing for these PDL teams. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the game. But the last topic on our wall-to-wally conversation is the game plan. As the last time this team played here at home, they played against North Carolina U23, and they were scored on 3 times, once by Sheriff Secca in the 6th minute. Came early, and Dean Rutherford had 2, one on each side of halftime. And I asked, how do you slow those guys down? And the big conversation, or the big ticket there, was we're not necessarily looking, the game plan, at least it seems to be, not knowing their starting lineups at the time, seemed to be, we're not necessarily looking to slow down anybody specific, but rather the whole line, the whole front line as a collective. And I think the reason behind that, I mean, you have more soccer knowledge than I do, Patrick, but it seems to be the thought process seemed to be, if we focus on 1 or 2 guys, then that's when you start to let things slip behind the cracks, and the guys you didn't expect to beat you end up beating you pretty bad.
Yeah, you can say that. And it's basically, you can't just focus on one player. I know some like professional teams out there, such as Argentina and Portugal, they focus solely on Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo to help them carry their teams, but you can't focus only on them. Yeah, they're great players, but players around them are going to obviously step up and steal the spotlight, and that could be what happens here tonight.
And it's time now to get into the starting lineups. Riverside, before we do that, though, Riverside Sports Medicine is a proud supporter of Lionsbridge FC. Riverside Sports Medicine offers comprehensive medical services including primary care, sports medicine, orthopedic surgery, sports physical therapy, and athletic training. As the Peninsula's premier sports medicine provider, Doctors J.R. Barley, Scott Kling, and the entire sports medicine team focus on helping you stay active and keeping you in the game. Riverside Sports Medicine is a proud sponsor of Lionsbridge FC. And now time for the starting lineups. In goal tonight, it will be Will Palmquist. Palmquist pitched a clean sheet the last time these two teams played, looking for much of the same this evening, and will get the help from in front of him, his back line, Rayong Choi, Chase Road, Miles Stray, and Walid Yakubo will be the back line moving forward. Ian Bennett on the far left, number 24, David Cooperman, then Keegan Kelly and Clayton Sparks in the midfield, and then on the front line it'll be Dean Rutherford and Tresser Mbuyu today for North Carolina FCU 23. Mbuyu leading this team with 3 goals. Secca also has 3, but Secca will be on the bench tonight alongside Colton Duchess, Casey Brady, Aya Alian and Ignacio Lerich, Babacor NG, and of course Sheriff Seca. So that's your starting group and reserves for North Carolina FC. And Patrick, who are you looking forward to seeing most from this team, and who do you think this Lionsbridge group has to focus on? I know head coach Wally said they weren't going to focus on anyone specific, but if you had to pick somebody, who would it be?
It's got to be that man up top, number 21, Dean Rutherford. Got 2 goals in the last game, was very influential when they played Lionsbridge here, and I expect nothing more here tonight.
Lionsbridge FC, their starters, it'll be Joe Rice in goal. Rice has had himself quite the season here in Newport News. Out of VCU is Joe Rice, and his defensive group in front of him will be the assistant coach from Christopher Newport, Jamie Gunderson, then Tom Devitt, who head coach Chris Wally had nothing but praise for pre-game. Simon Fitch will move back to the defensive line from the midfield, and then you'll see Robbie Jenkinson in the back group out of Manchester, England. Moving forward, there'll be a 4-5-1, so 5 midfielders today. Jalen Brown will be that one up top. The midfielders, all 5 of them, include Parker Washburn. Washburn out of Cary, North Carolina. Then Fortia Munts, who has been playing phenomenally this year. Just he's had plenty of assists, just hasn't been able to break into the goal tally just yet, and hopefully we see some of that tonight, as that's been something that this fan base has yearned for, though Fortia Munts is one of the best players this team has in the midfield. Right next to him, it'll be Militar out of Hungary. Congratulations to Ivan Militar getting engaged between our last 2 home games, so congratulations to him. And then Marshal MacCartney will join us back in the starting lineup, coming back from an injury, and then James Ellis from Chesapeake, Virginia, rounds out the group. So in the 4-5-1, different formation today for Chris Wally's pride, and why might that be?
Just trying to clog that midfield. It seemed the last game when they played against the North Carolina FC U23s, they got overran in midfield, so Wally just looking to try and stop that.
Well said, Patrick, and that'll do for our pregame analysis, and we're just about ready for this one. We'll take a break for the national anthem, and we'll be right back on Facebook Live. And welcome back to facebook.com/LionsbridgeFC. It's just about time for soccer on the peninsula. We're a little bit behind schedule. Opening kickoff typically scheduled for 7:08, so we're about 2 minutes behind, but that is certainly okay, as we are thrilled to finally be back. Thanks to tonight's ball kids and national anthem walkout participants. Tonight's youth soccer organization of the night is Baystars FC. Tonight's food vendors included Poor Boys Burgers, Prost O'Doodle Doos Donuts, and Kona Ice. And Lionsbridge FC is proud to serve craft beer from our friends at Tradition Brewing Company, including the Lionsbridge Lager, as well as other fine selections. If you're interested in joining in on the fun, head to lionsbridgefc.com/tickets to secure your tickets to the next home game on Saturday, July 7th against the Carolina Dynamo here at Pomoco Stadium. The pregame festival starts at 5 and kickoff just about 7 o'clock. Advance tickets can be purchased at Whole Foods Market on Jefferson Avenue tonight at the merchandise tent or online at lionsbridgefc.com/tickets. And remember, when you buy your ticket in advance, you're automatically entered to win a free Chick-fil-A for a year. This is this Saturday night right here at Pomoco Stadium. Patrick, it's just about time for kickoff here in Newport News. Clock set to 0 and it'll count up. Lionsbridge FC starts with the ball and we're just about ready to go. What are your 3 keys to success?
So like I said earlier, NCFC U23s is going to have to focus around Dean Rutherford. Like we said, he got 2 goals in the last game. He's going to need to come up big here again tonight. For Lionsbridge, they're going to need to be ruthless in defense. They can't keep giving up multiple goals every single night and expect to win. And more importantly, for the fans, they need to get behind the home team. It's a big match right before July 4th. There's going to be fireworks afterwards. I expect nothing but cheers all night.
And away we go here in Newport News. So Patrick's keys to the game. Focus on Rutherford if you're a fan of the team in white and red. And if you're Lionsbridge FC, got to pick back up on the defense, ruthlessly defensive, as Patrick would say. And then the home field advantage has got to be a home field advantage tonight if the Bridge want to pick up 3 points against the top team in the division. Lionsbridge FC wearing the Nike kits. Nike's the official apparel provider and proud sponsor of Lionsbridge FC. We'll be rocking those baby blues, going from right to left here in the opening half. And that means Joe Rice in the green will be in the south end zone. As for NCFC, they will be in the red and white. So we've got the red, white, and blue out here for a 4th of July matchup. Tuesday afternoon into the evening now. The lights are on at Pomoco Stadium. And you're right, Patrick, it is a little bit hot. But for July, you can't really be complaining about the 80s as Gunderson takes that out of play. And he'll kick it back to the ball boy in a show of sportsmanship. Ball thrown back in from Rayong Choi, and for the first time today, NCFC gets the ball rolling into their own possession to be maintained for a brief moment. There goes number 12, that's Marshal MacCartney. MacCartney gives it in and looking for Jalon Brown, but to no avail. Nice takeaway from MacCartney, who's new to the lineup after an injury, and here comes, I believe that is Ivan Militar to the deep corner for the first of the day for the Bridge. Keeping track of corners a little more meticulously today. This is the first for the men in blue. There goes Militar. That ball is low. Looking for Devitt, I believe, and it continues to bounce around, and a goal kick awarded to Will Palmquist.
Unlucky there for Tom Devitt. Couldn't get the ball under control as that ball just trickles over the end line. And now for a goal kick.
Corner kicks are a great opportunity to score using your head. If a Lionsbridge FC player scores on a header tonight, everyone in the stadium will win a free breakfast sandwich courtesy of Chick-fil-A. If you want an opportunity to win a free breakfast sandwich, you got to be here. Next opportunity to do so, Saturday night. Get those tickets online at lionsbridgefc.com/tickets.
And just a clarification there, it is a coupon,
it's a coupon.
Not an actual sandwich here. So you can use a coupon whenever you like.
Coupons never expire at Chick-fil-A. I learned that. Used to work at Chick-fil-A. The official's going to get in the way, and that is just unfortunate. And I don't think Munts is too happy with it. They're having a conversation. I think Munts believes his team should get the ball back after the deflection, but it's not the way the rules are played. That ball back in bounds and skirted into the air from Devitt, and now it's a dangerous play inside the box, and Gunderson's just going to have to clear it. And a good clear there to Jalon Brown. Brown now in the orange highlighter cleats, nutmegs number 23, 24 maybe, Kupperman. No, it was 20, Yakubo, but he couldn't get much farther than that, and that's a foul on James Ellis. Pushing forward, Kupperman. That shot is deflected by Devitt and into the hands of Joe Rice. The first time Joe Rice will have the opportunity to reinsert this ball back into action. Joe Rice having himself a pretty solid season out of VCU.
Good idea there. Unfortunately, Militar went a little too early. He had the right idea, nodding the ball back to Jalon Brown, but he was offsides.
Now on a counterattack come NCFC. Now that cross in and cleared, but only for a moment, and airmailed over Joe Rice from number 14, Keegan Kelly, and I don't think Rice ended up getting a palm on it, and so it was, as AWOL Nation would say, sailed over everything, and Rice will have a goal kick.
It was a solid counter there for NCFC U23s. Unfortunately, number 14 Keegan Kelly couldn't keep the ball down.
This ball back around the midfield here and headed away. A lot of back and forth at the moment, and ultimately this battle ends up in the possession of Lionsbridge FC, and a good forward to Jalon Brown. Brown's got to beat Palmquist to the ball, and Palmquist gets there first. A good opportunity for the Bridge, but to no avail.
Great reverse ball there from Ivan Militar. Unlucky he couldn't find Jalon Brown, as Jalon Brown was sprinting in behind. Good awareness by Palmquist to come off his line and collect that ball.
And that was just as I was about to say. NCFC won the possession there, and then quickly, before I could say such a thing, Lionsbridge FC took that one away and created a fast break opportunity of their own, and maybe just a bit overtouched, as that ball ended up inside the 18-meter box and within Palmquist's reach. .750 into the contest, so we're in the 8th minute. A couple of good opportunities here for Lionsbridge FC early. A couple of good opportunities on the opposite end for NCFC as well. This guy's kind of trading punches early. Neither team able to really crack the code of the other just yet. Seems to be a bend, don't break a little bit early here, and it hasn't been a whole lot of bending either. These offenses have really generated one, maybe two opportunities, and of those two, not a whole lot of quality out of these offensive chances. Ball being switched to the opposite side and now pushed back towards the midfield for NCFC, and a good bit of possession there and ultimately being cleared away by the back line, Robbie Jenkinson. Quick throw in here for North Carolina, and they'll retreat for a moment to maintain a little bit of the possession. A foul? No, it looks like advantage will be played. That call is on Jalon Brown. Brown's going to walk away almost sheepishly. All right, Jillian, the field does look fantastic tonight. Give it 2 weeks to heal and grow after a really busy May and a really busy June, and this Bermuda grass is really starting to shape up here late in the summer. Everybody falls back towards the neutral zone as Joe Rice set to boot. 1, 2, 3, and back into the air it goes, and Munts ends up having an opportunity at it. Can't quite get there. And now on the near side, that is Rayon Choi. Choi now finds his man on the corner. Clayton Sparks looking across and does quite the cross. Gets cleared. Cleared quickly by Marshal MacCartney. And a throw in for North Carolina. Now a good touch on the ball by Copperman. To the near side, Clayton Sparks. Sparks is just going to roll that one back to Joe Rice for the Pride. Rice drop kicking that one past midfield, almost 75% of the way, looking for, look to be Brown. Now Gunderson ends up with it. Gunderson, the small push to Militar, and Militar will try to find James Ellis. Pinballs for a moment, Militar finds it. Militar's retrieval goes to MacCartney and back to the midfield for Fortia Munts. Munts will run around with it for a moment before looking for his teammate. I think that's Parker Washburn on the far side. Aggressive pass to Washburn, and Washburn wins the ball back for his team. There goes Munts in the midfield. Munts now to MacCartney. MacCartney will shoot and sail it. A strong shot. I think he was feeling himself a little bit there, and just put a little too much air into that one.
Yeah, I mean, Marshal MacCartney had the open shot, and if you don't shoot your shot, you're never going to know if you're going to make it. So he decided to have a go. It's not too ambitious, and you see a good tackle there from him. He's doing work on both ends.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, said a great hockey player by the name of Wayne Gretzky. As did a great office supervisor Michael Scott once said that, I think. That one's going to go through the uprights here, and unfortunately that's not the football we're playing. Otherwise, this would be a 3-0 contest. Joe Rice once again. This is, I think, 3 or 4 now goal kicks for Mr. Rice. And Mutzi will end up with it. Now shot on and a save by Rice. The crowd appreciates that one.
Great counter there from NCFC as Clayton Sparks played the ball into Rutherford. Rutherford laid it off to Treasure Mbuyu, and Mbuyu had a nice shot on target, but Joe Rice picks up the save.
Now looking for Militar. He's just not going to get there in time. Strong push. So Rayong Choi to throw that one in on his own territory. And Patrick, how would you describe the pace so far in this one through the first 15 minutes?
Well, through the first 15 minutes, both teams have been on the ball. None really have too much possession of it as it keeps going back and forth. It's a really quick-paced game, and I'm looking forward to it opening up more as the game moves forward.
A little bit of possession here for the men of red and white. I don't know if this was planned, but I really like the way we ended up with red, white, and blue on the field here on this July 4th week.
I feel like it wasn't planned at all, but that's just me.
That's just convenient, coincidental. Maybe it was planned. Who knows? But it looks nice. It looks patriotic, and that's what you like to see. As coming on the other side is Keegan Kelly, and Kelly will start the counterattack for NC. And on the inside is Mbuyu, and Mbuyu is going to be called off.
Great ball in there behind by Was that Kupperman? It's either Kupperman or Sparks. And it's just unfortunate Mbuyu went too early and was called offsides.
Looks like a pretty good crowd here tonight. Obviously all excited about the fireworks post-game as many of them have the day off tomorrow, and I don't see a whole lot of empty seats. Obviously hoping to see some fireworks on the field tonight as well, as these two teams in the top half of their division. North Carolina FC having a phenomenal year with 22 points. Lionsbridge with 12 points in their inaugural season. Had themselves quite a campaign. And to finish in the top half of your division, which Lionsbridge is more than capable of doing here over the course of their last 3 games, is certainly a testament to the product that Mike Vest has put together. There goes Jalon Brown, and a beautiful save from Will Palmquist. Palmquist just had to push that one away. Point blank rage from Jalon Brown, and it all started on the serve.
Yeah, that was a great ball in from Lionsbridge. Jalon Brown pulling off the last defender, took it on his left foot. Unfortunately, couldn't beat Palmquist. Palmquist, an amazing reaction save, and Lionsbridge pick up this corner.
So the corner will come from Militar. Ball is lofty. It goes off of some heads, I believe, and then a body, and before not, it is out of play off of Lionsbridge FC. Ball high in the air and ultimately falling to the to the track. Gunderson in. Good pass from Militar back to Gunderson. And Jalon Brown will look for Munts, and it is turned away. Mbuyu gives it up. And that ball forward, and they're going to look for Clayton Sparks. Sparks going to go on a foot race with Tom Devitt. Devitt wins the race, and out of play it goes. Certainly, if you're a fan of the home team, you've got to be happy with the way your team's been playing so far. At this point in their last contest, North Carolina FC was already up 1-0. It only took 6 minutes before Sheriff Seka could put North Carolina FC on the board. Seka, however, on the bench tonight to start to the contest. And the Pride back line has been holding steady through the first 20 minutes. Of course, as I say that, North Carolina's got a chance, and they win a corner. I believe this is the first corner of the day. First corner of the day from North Carolina. It'll be from the far side. And Rion Choi will take it, if I'm not mistaken. Puts his arm up, gives the call, and it is lofty. Goes off of Clayton Sparks, and I think he thought he probably should have had that one.
Yeah, Clayton Sparks missed a golden opportunity there. He had a free header inside the 6 and simply just couldn't put it on target. As Lionsbridge escaped there. Got lucky.
Joe Rice back into play, it will go. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance an existing mortgage, or consolidate high interest debt, look no further than Embrace Home Loans. Embrace Home Loans is proud to support Lionsbridge FC.
Ball was kicked out there for the Jalon Brown injury. He went up on the 50-50 ball with one of the NCFC defenders, came up second best. Looks to be okay now. As he's walking off, he's talking to the ref.
Did you know that Lionsbridge Sports Medicine uses frog skin wraps to treat players' soft tissue injuries? Frog skin advanced therapy products are available to everyone. Check us out at frog-skin.com to learn more. That's frog-skin.com to learn more. Brown will continue having a conversation over there with his counterpart. And the ball being awarded to Lionsbridge, and they will throw it back towards Will Palmquist. And it will be his discretion as to what happens next. Now James Ellis around the circle. We'll boot it back to Jenkinson. Jenkinson can't get that ball through the midfield. And got to be a foul, and it is. Not happy about it, as I believe it's Ian Bennett. Can't see the number on his back, but I believe that was Ian Bennett. So free kick on the right side of the midfield line for Munts. Munts will step back, plant foot, throw it up with his right. That gets into the box and cleared. Robbie Jenkinson was the intended receiver, and he couldn't get there before North Carolina FC could. Special shout out to those of you at home watching, as you are our job security. You can follow all of Lionsbridge action, all of the Lionsbridge action here on Facebook.com/Lionsbridge, here on Facebook Live, and following on Twitter and Instagram at Lionsbridge FC. Use the hashtag #ThisIsOurBridge. And talking about your favorite Premier Development League team. A short throw goes in, and I believe they wanted to head it in, and it was headed away by Miles Stray. So far, a defensive-oriented contest. Both Palmquist and Rice have had to make a couple of saves, one at least each. I believe Palmquist has made 2. I'm not sure. I think Rice might have made 2 as well. Opportunities have been few and far between through the first 25. That is for sure. Vuvuzelas are certainly out and active. The Lions, Lions den's been relatively quiet, Patrick. What has got to happen to get this crowd back into it?
They need to get some shots on target. They got to test Will Palmquist. You saw earlier Jalon Brown had that nice opportunity with the volley. Palmquist came up with a huge reaction save. But I feel like if Lionsbridge could pull a goal, this crowd's going to be up, bouncing around, and screaming their heads off.
Crowd looking for something to cheer about, and the Bridge have been playing well so far. They've controlled a good amount of the possession. I wouldn't be able to give you exact percentages because we don't have those stats, but be able to say it's pretty even throughout the first third of this ball game, and not a whole lot of attacking opportunities for either team, and just kind of midfield play for most of this first half so far.
Yeah, you can see both teams have been really well. They've done really well in the midfield tonight. And like we said earlier, Chris Wally wanted these guys in the back four to be more ruthless. And so far they've done it. They've kept Dean Rutherford quiet. They've kept Tressa and Mbuyu quiet. And hopefully they can keep doing that throughout the rest of the game tonight.
Another free kick here for Lionsbridge, a little bit closer than the one they had about 5 minutes ago. And so Munts will head down to the short corner, and Militar will take it. A cohort of players on the 18. Devitt will give himself up, go off sides, come back on. That ball is lofted up and looking for MacCartney, and it is headed away by number 16, Ian Bennett. Now a corner kick, I believe number 3 today for Lionsbridge. And Militar will have to make the rest of the trek from where that free kick was to the corner. And now Mr. Official there in the middle is having a brief conversation with the group. Tonight's officials: Aaron Hormuth, Robert Velbus, Dwayne Paquette, and Ace Castle. That ball in and cleared after the corner kick, and now Gunderson will push it back and it'll get cleared once more. So now goes Munts to the far side for a corner, or excuse me, for a throw-in. Shadows creeping out onto the field, almost engulfing half the field, this north half, as shadows being created by the trees beyond the north end zone and this set of bleachers and the press box here at Pomoco on the east side of the stadium. Excuse me, west side of the stadium. That tackle there questionable for the visiting NCFC. I don't think they were too happy with it. And the Bridge end up back with the ball, and they're in their own defensive third now, looking to advance towards the midfield, and they'll completely skip the neutral zone and go for the attacking third, and out of play it goes. Gunderson couldn't quite get to the advance quickly enough.
Unfortunate there. It was the right ball by Marshal MacCartney. Found him, but unfortunately played the ball too hard, and Jamie Gunderson couldn't get there in time.
Ball voluntarily cleared out of bounds by Choi. Tresor Mbuyu, this team's leading scorer with 3 goals in just under, I guess at this point we're getting to around 500 minutes on the season. Seka also has 3, but he's played almost an entire full game as far as minutes are concerned. So Mbuyu averaging the most goals per minute for this team. For Lionsbridge, they've got Jalon Brown, who's got 7 goals on the season. Having himself quite the year. As the home crowd tries to get the wave going. Things have kind of settled down here in the half. Both sides not necessarily trading attacks, but trading possession. As they'll kind of sit around, try to create possession in the midfield, hold on to it, garner an attack, and that attack is ultimately for naught, as it is typically, at least to this point, been turned into a turnover. Both sides trading that possession. Less than 15 minutes to go in the opening half. Fortia Munts now back to Gunderson. Gunderson with a good touch from James Ellis, and Palmquist will scoop it back up. Financial Security is a proud sponsor of Lionsbridge FC. Financial Security was founded in 1992 and is one of the oldest independent financial planning firms in the Hampton Roads area. Call 757-643-6200 to meet with Kevin Joyce, located in City Center, Newport News, Virginia, to protect, save, and grow your financial plan. That's 757-643-6200. Now an opportunity for the Bridge. There goes Jalon Brown. He's got Munts. An opportunity to shoot. He'll cross the ball, looking for Washburn, a little too advantageous. A little too presumptuous, if you will, from Jalon Brown.
A good solid counterattack there from the Bridge. Unfortunately, Jalon Brown couldn't get that final pass correct, and hopefully we do not have this where both teams can't find that final pass.
And now on the counterattack, ball taken away by Munts. Munts is just incredible in the midfield. And that ball swatted right back away from him. Munts thought there might have been a foul. And when you have a guy like Munts, you know that your midfield is going to be controlled, or at least it's going to be nearly to your advantage every night.
Yeah, Munts has been absolutely spectacular this season. He's come out of Barcelona, Spain, so you know, growing up, he probably watched a lot of soccer, a lot of Real Madrid, Barcelona derbies, and that's probably where he got all of his passing skills from, watching the likes of Xavi and Iniesta growing up.
It's another one of those VCU Rams here for the bridge. James Ellis gets tripped up, and that ball goes the other way. There's Ian Bennett. Bennett now is going to shoot, and a save by Rice. Rice will poke it out of play for a North Carolina corner.
Great little spurs of play there by NCFC. Ian Bennett takes control of the ball in midfield, dribbles at the defenders, finds the open space, gets a shot on target, and makes Joe Rice make a save.
Corner kick to come from NCFC. Both hands up. Ball is in and headed away by MacCartney. Hey fans, you could win an official Lionsbridge FC backpack just like the players use, courtesy of All Pro Tactical. Head to Lionsbridge FC /All Pro to enter. All Pro Tactical, Tactical Technology, All Pro Performance. So that second corner kick to no avail for NCFC. I thought that was going to be a goal kick, and I was clearly mistaken. So these teams evened up at 3 corners apiece through the first 36 minutes. And offsides called on North Carolina FC. So Joe Rice once again, this time just beyond the 6 with his woes. Ball headed out towards the attacking third of the bridge by Militar, and going to get it was number 20, Walid Yakubo. Now Munts is there. Munts got stopped by Kupperman. Kupperman right there has been a good challenge for Munts tonight. They've kind of been back and forth as the night has progressed. Now that ball to the near side for Rayon Choi. Choi, that ball is going to get cleared off the official by Jamie Gunderson. Gunderson going to check on the AR there, and Choi will throw that ball in. Crowd's starting to get into it a little bit. Ball poked away. Now on the near side and down by the corner, Kupperman sends the ball in, and it's inside the box. Dangerous opportunity gets cleared, and Militar is there. Militar's got to give it up to somebody, and Washburn will send it back. And so possession will stay here with NCFC. That shot on, and a good stop by the Pride. That shot again, and yowzers. That is a great save by Joe Rice.
Great work there by Dean Rutherford. He couldn't get his shot off because of Simon Fitch, but the ball falls out here to number 4, Ryong Cho. Cho's shot looking bottom corner, just unlucky for him as Joe Rice came up with a big save there.
Another opportunity formulating here for North Carolina. corner kick to come now. Number 4 of the half for North Carolina FC, and number 24, Kupperman, goes in to take it. That ball up. And Rice punches it away, but the opportunity is still not over yet, and sliding away and now cleared as Tresser and Mbuyu tried to get there and just tripped up. Ball out of play, and so Jalon Brown will have an opportunity to throw it in, and he gets it in to a sprinting Militar. That ball gets cleared, and so everybody will have to get back. And the Bridge will be able to set their offense up. And a bad touch by MacCartney, and now coming the other direction, and a great slide tackle there in defense from number 6, Simon Fitch. Fitch playing well in the midfield so far this evening. He'll have to continue that trend here in the next few minutes as North Carolina FC has continued to build possession and momentum, as they seem to have all of it at this point in the half. In on that Venmo payment. Shout out to Sean Markland. Thank you. Ball lofted in. Rice has thought about playing it, and then it got headed away by the defenseman. Rice had to step back there. Defenseman Fitch, that ball high in the air, and Rice will catch it. And Patrick, this momentum beginning to build here for North Carolina FC.
Yeah, you can see it. Number 14, Keegan Kelly, on that left-hand side for NCFC, is having an absolute field day down there with Jenkinson and Ellis, as he keeps getting service into the box multiple times, one after another. Unfortunately for NCFC, they couldn't cash in on that one either. Hopefully one of these times, one team will score.
And if you're a fan of the guys in blue, the boys in blue, if you will, you're hoping it's them. We've been entertained for sure through the first 42 minutes of this contest, heading into the 43rd minute. Now another chance developing, and then cleared away, that time by Devitt, now to Lee. Or excuse me, Ellis, James Ellis. Ivan Militar, he's been all over this game so far tonight. Militar and Munts in the midfield. Speaking of which, there goes Munts, a good touch over Munts. Now back there goes Mbuyu. Mbuyu there with Fitch. He's going to get it in, a good cross. And clear.
Great footwork there by Tresser. Mbuyu beats Fitch. Gets the ball in. Unfortunately, Clayton Sparks couldn't finish off that chance.
Here comes a counterattack here for Lionsbridge. Jalon Brown's going to try to do it himself, and he starts to get dragged down, and it's going to be a goal kick, a penalty kick for Jalon Brown. He's earned it for Lionsbridge, and I agree with the call, but we're going to look at it one more time, and I think he might have gotten pulled down just before the 18-meter, and I think he might have done that intentionally as to avoid that chance. And so Militar will have the shot on goal.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Walid Yakubu. He's beat for pace by Jalon Brown. Jalon Brown gets close to the box. Referee, we don't have video assistant referees here. He had to make the call up on the spot.
We'll talk about that call in just a moment, but for the meantime, the crowd starts to rumble for Ivan Militar. Militar sets back, everybody else on the 18 waiting for it. Militar paces, 1-2, shoots and scores! Militar makes it 1!
Great goal there by Ivan Militar. It was all set up on the counter by Jalon Brown. Gets in behind of Yakubu. Yakubu brings him down. Referee points to the spot. And the Hungarian midfield puts the spot kick away, puts Lionsbridge FC up 1-0 here in the first half, right before halftime.
Right before the half, Lionsbridge FC goes up 1-0 on North Carolina FC, and that's a big goal. And still complaining about it is Yakubu. He's still not sure about the call, and
I mean, who could blame him?
You absolutely can't, and it's great that great for the home fans and for Ivan Militar that they could cash in on that goal, as offensive opportunities have come at a premium here in the first 45, and the Bridge take advantage and will take a 1-0 lead into the half, barring something crazy like a North Carolina counter here in the next few moments.
Great to see Ivan Militar on the score sheet here tonight. Like we said before the kickoff, just recently engaged, so great to see him score here.
What more could you want?
Exactly.
Living life. Things will settle down here now after the goal. Hey kids, be sure to pick up your Lionsbridge FC team poster at our next home game. That's on Saturday night, to be signed at the post-game autograph session. That's right after every home game. Those Lionsbridge players partake in an autograph session for anyone with those team posters, sponsored by Mosquito Joe, a proud sponsor and partner of Lionsbridge FC.
We have 1 minute of stoppage time here as number 21, Dean Rutherford, goes down injured. And NCFC will have a free kick right before the end of halftime.
As Rutherford goes down injured, I want to remind you that the Riverside Sports Medicine team, including doctors J.R. Barley and Scott Kling, keep Lionsbridge players healthy and on the field. Riverside Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Lionsbridge FC's choice for everything sports medicine, keeping your player on the field. Here comes the free kick. Ball up in the air from Choi into the box. And it gets clear to everybody. That's not Mbuyu. Yakubo now. And a great diving save by Joe Rice. And kicking it back into the gloves of Rice is number 5, I believe it was, Chase Road. And now there's a skirmish and a scrum in front of Rice. And this is certainly not hockey, but it's starting to look like it in front of the crease.
Yeah, you can't do that. Joe Rice had the ball saved in between his hands, and number 5, Chase Road, just comes in, tries to kick it out of his hands, and of course, nobody on Lionsbridge is happy about that.
You got to defend your keeper there, and that's certainly what happened. And so the official will check up there on Rice, and Rice is given a yellow card, and I'm not necessarily sure why. I'd like to see the replay. And here comes the replay, it seems. It looks like, at least on my screen, they're ready for it.
Yeah, there's no way that should have been a yellow card for Joe Rice.
Play that replay, guys, if you have it down low. I'd love to see it again, and I think the fans at home might want a little bit of an explanation as well. And a yellow card given as well to number 5, Chase Road, here in the 45th minute. Keep backing it up a little bit more.
We go into halftime.
And that'll be the half. And
getting that PK right before the half.
We'll talk about the PK in a second. I think that replay needs to be backed up just a little bit more to the actual play itself. But they seem to talk about it, Road and Rice, as they headed off the field. And the officials gathered, decided to give one to Rice, decided to give one to Road, and we go into the break with a 1-0 game in favor of Lionsbridge FC. How big is that goal, or excuse me, is that penalty kick for Lionsbridge FC going into the half, knowing that North Carolina had most, if not all, of the momentum going to the break before that?
Yeah, that was a huge goal. Great turn of pace by Jalon Brown. He got in behind, dragged down, really unfortunately for the NCFC team. They played so well throughout this whole half, and just to go down a goal right before halftime has absolutely gutted this team. And hopefully for them and their fans, they could come back out second half, maybe grab a goal, if not two, and grab the win here.
certainly can be defeating going into the half. You feel like you played well going, most of the half, had most of the offensive opportunities, and then right as the half begins to conclude, you give up a penalty kick, maybe a questionable one at that, as it looked like Brown was close to the 18 and close enough for the official, and it looked like Brown was maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead, where he might have had otherwise unimpeded access at the goal, and ultimately the PK was given. Militar sinks it, and we have a 1-0 game. Knock out some of our sponsors here. One Life Fitness has 8. That's 8. Just like Ivan Militar, 8. Hampton Roads locations with the 9th. Coming soon to Tech Center in Newport News. One Life Fitness is one of the official health club partners of Lionsbridge FC. Quality Productions tells your message with epic cinematography and stunning visuals. Check out their work for commercial clients at Quality, that's Quality with a K, Productions.com. Fans of Lionsbridge FC doesn't allow a goal tonight. So far, so good through the first 45. That'll be a huge donut for North Carolina FC. And a free donut for the fans here at Pomoco. From O'Doodle Doos Donuts, if Lionsbridge shuts out Saturday's opponents, so if you decide to come out and check out the game against Carolina Dynamo, you too could be going home with a coupon for a free O'Doodle Doos Donuts. It's courtesy of O'Doodle Doos. Be sure to pick up tickets to the next contest by going to lionsbridgefc.com. From Naples to your neighborhood, Vinny's Pizza and Pasta is a proud supporter of Lionsbridge FC. Come visit any of their 3 peninsula locations at Oyster Point, J. Clyde Morris Boulevard, or Highway 17 in Yorktown. Buy your Lionsbridge FC tickets online using promo code VINNY, that's VINNY, and get a free appetizer from Vinny's Pizza and Pasta. And last but not least, currently happening on the field is the Chick-fil-A halftime shootout. Fans, there are limited edition Chick-fil-A Lionsbridge t-shirts available at your favorite Chick-fil-A location on the peninsula. Don't forget to stop by your local Chick-fil-A in Hampton, Newport News, or Yorktown for breakfast and eat more chicken. That'll do it for the first half. We'll step away for about 5 to 7 minutes. We'll come back with just about 5 minutes left in the halftime break to talk about the opening frame and what's got to change for the visitors to get on the board, and what Chris Walley's team is going to continue to do defensively to keep this clean sheet going. For Patrick Garber, I'm Rob Smith. We'll be back on the opposite side of the half. You're watching Lionsbridge FC Soccer on Facebook Live and on Facebook.com/Lionsbridge FC. And welcome back to Facebook Live and Lionsbridge FC Soccer. Guess that's kind of redundant.
Yeah.
Lionsbridge Football Club Soccer. Is that redundant?
I mean, maybe just a little. We'll just roll with it.
It's like saying you only YOLO once. Yeah, that's right. It's redundant. Anyway, back to soccer here on the Peninsula. Lionsbridge FC taking a 1-0 lead into the half, and more importantly, Joe Rice and Chase Road picking up yellow cards at the end of the half. I'm not necessarily sure what the yellow cards were for, but they seemed to shake hands and be okay with it. Obviously not the yellow cards, but be okay with the situation. There didn't seem to be any ill will going into the half.
Yeah, you got to move on from that stuff. It's really unfortunate both players did pick up the yellow. Personally, I think it was because they were the ones who started the big scuffle at the end, right before halftime. And it was only right for the referee to book both of them. But they moved on. You got to move on. Soccer's a long game.
I think we have a replay of it. Go ahead and back that up a little bit more. Perfect. And there you see the shot goes on. Rice makes the save, and
it's in his hands.
There goes Road to make the kick, and then they both kind of swipe at each other, and then Rice does a little bit of a can opener twist, and they both get kind of their legs tangled, and neither is really kind about it. And then the push there, and the pushing and shoving continues as they help Rice up, and then Tom Devitt gets involved, and the defensive front gets in front of Joe Rice, and then Devitt continues to push Road away, and ultimately at the end of the day, Road and Rice would shake hands, but they're both given yellow cards, and after looking at that one more time, I'm not necessarily sure why. Rice wasn't happy about it either. However, that's where we stand. The other thing that happened, it was really kind of like a slow developing half. A lot of defense, a lot of midfield play, not a lot of attacking opportunities, and then the last 5 minutes of the half, the last 3 minutes of the half even, everything just kind of exploded. The other thing that happened late in the half, Jalon Brown gets taken down by Yakubo close to the 18. I'm not sure if it was inside the 18 or not. There's been some discussion here up here in the press box. Did it carry into the box, and was this the last defender? Would Jalon Brown had an opportunity to score if that foul hadn't happened? And I think that's ultimately the justification for the call, Patrick.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was a bonehead move by Yakubu, but in that situation, you have to be smart there. You got two defenders running against one in Jalon Brown, and you can't. You know that he's going to go down. Any smart player would go down in that situation, and it was no different with Jalon Brown. He went down, won the penalty. Ivan Militar scored, and we're sitting here with Lionsbridge up top 1-0.
It's a thing with penalty kicks, too, and Militar did a great job almost psyching out Palmquist in net, getting him to jump one way, and it was a straight shot right down the middle. And that's where we stand right now. After 45 full minutes, Lionsbridge has a 1-0 lead on North Carolina FC. And as we come out of the half, we'd like to remind you, the fans, to celebrate in the inaugural season. What better time to celebrate than a first season here on the peninsula with Tradition Brewing Company. Tradition Brewing has released Lionsbridge Lager. You can check it out at Tradition Brewing in City Center. As Tradition Brewing and Lionsbridge SC remind you to drink responsibly and always choose a designated driver. So we come out of the half as well. Lionsbridge FC would like to recognize K9 Off-Leash Dog Training for their support during this 2018 campaign. K9 Off-Leash Dog Training specializes in private lessons and dog training consultations. For more information, go to joshwilson.dog. Let the bond with your K9 be unleashed. As we head into the second half, I want to remind you of our major sponsors, Nike, Riverside, Chick-fil-A, and Tradition. So going into the second half, the keys to success for you, Patty Boy, were to focus on Rutherford for North Carolina FC. That haven't really done a whole lot of that. There haven't been too many chances for Rutherford. How does North Carolina alter their game to get Rutherford and Buyu, the front line, maybe even Seka, I assume he comes in the second half, opportunities here on Rice?
They just got to keep playing their game. We saw it, 2 weeks ago when they did come back here and put on a show for us. They won 3-0, and they played the ball out wide. They got to do that. And Buyu, he needs to get involved. Rutherford needs to get involved, like we said. And number 9, Clayton Sparks, he came in for, Sheriff Seka from the last game we played here. And he's done good. He's made runs into the channels, but really this midfield hasn't been able to find him, and you got to give credit there to the ruthless defense of Lionsbridge.
So Clayton Sparks will lead things off. And away we go in the second 45, and so we'll switch sides. The men of red and white will go from right to left, and the boys in blue will go left to right here in the second 45. The sun continuing to set behind Pomoco. The shadows have completely eclipsed the field of play. The lights are on here on the northwest side of Christopher Newport University's beautiful campus. The grass certainly greener tonight as well, Patrick. We had some field condition problems at the beginning of the season. Not even necessarily problems, but the field is certainly looking nicer now than it has been all year as the grass continues to grow.
Yeah, that's always very important for the players. They want to play on a nice slick pitch so they can knock the ball around. It's so much easier. It's so much nicer. You got free-flowing football. It's great to see. And great for us to watch too.
I like to say that the broadcasting booth is typically the best seat in the house. And I will continue to think that until someone can prove me otherwise.
I have to agree with you. It's been a blast watching the games up here.
NCFC trying to pick up some play here. There goes number 14, Keegan Kelly. Kelly now sends that ball up. Rice is going to poke it over the net, and I believe Rice got a paw on it. Should be a corner kick, but I don't believe the AR saw the poke, and so that ball goes back to Joe Rice.
A solid start there for NCFC as Keegan Kelly beats Robbie Jenkinson once again down here on this left-hand side for NCFC. Gets his shot off, probably could have crossed it there, but wanted to be a little selfish inside the box, and it's always nice to test the goalkeeper early.
Getting shots off is important. You can't get a shot on goal, you can't get the ball in net. You can't get the ball in net, you can't win the game. As for North Carolina to win tonight and pick up 3 points, they'll have to score at least twice. Jalen Brown hustling after that one and clearing the ball into the stands is Palmquist.
What I've noticed here for NCFC, they have switched to a back three now, pushing Ryong Choi up a little into a more of a right winger spot. And we'll see how this turns out for NCFC U23s for the rest of the match.
Devitt can't get it to Lee. Still both sides sitting 6 on their bench, so the reserves haven't quite begun to get loose quite yet. Although I'm sure it's only a matter of time before changes are begun to see themselves to the field. Now in the midfield is Militar. Trying to give it to Munts, can't quite do it. And then the near side, and that's not a manicure, not a pedicure, that is a facial for Keegan Key. Takes it right off the chin and gives it back to his defenseman, Chase Rode. Rode's got to be careful, though. He's got a yellow card here, as does Rice, but Rice doesn't necessarily have to worry about that one. Down in net. I feel like it's not every day you see a goalkeeper get a card.
I mean, usually when goalkeepers get cards, it's usually because it's a late challenge in the box. They come out, they completely miss the ball, they take out the player. Or you get late into a match, the goalkeeper's over there time wasting, the referee's not having it, and he gives a yellow.
And in the off chance that Joe Rice does pick up his second yellow today and is ejected from the ball game, Luke Messick would have to come in, and Messick would have to then come in for one of the field players, and that would mean the Bridge be playing a man down. Here in the 51st minute of action at Pomoco Stadium on a midsummer's night. As a great hustle play by Joe Rice. He's going to hustle back into his box. That could have been a corner kick. Ends up being a Rion Choi short throw. Or long throw, if you will. In the corner there is Ian Bennett. Bennett back to Choi and back to Bennett. They play a little bit of catch before being kicked out to Yakubo. And Marshal MacCartney says no thank you and puts it back towards the midfield before it gets headed back towards Rice by Miles Stray. A lot of back and forth here. And that ball out of bounds and quickly reinserted off the hands of Keegan Kelly. Great forward pass. Still on sides, trying to give it in, and it gets cleared. No handball called, and that's what the home crowd wants, and that was a near goal scoring chance. Keegan Kelly had a great cross in, and I believe it was Clayton Sparks who just volleys it over the net, but he had a wide open net for the goal and couldn't finish. He's going to be reliving that one tonight if this team can't win.
Yeah, great work there by Keegan Kelly once again. Gets the ball in the box, beats a couple defenders, plays it across. And unfortunately, the NCFC forward cannot get on the end to put the ball in the back of the net as the ball goes over the bar.
Low line drive from Joe Rice ends up out of play off of North Carolina. Now Munts getting called for the foul. And
it's a really bizarre call there. But he is the ref. He's standing right there. Obviously, he saw something that we didn't see up here. So we play on with the NCFC free kick.
They're the ones who, they're here to make those calls. And more often than not, they are correct. So not going to say anything about it, as Munts might have. I think Munts has been the beneficiary more often than not this evening. So Munts travels around himself before giving it up, and it gets sent to the outside. There's Militar. Militar cuts inside, and it gets cleared for a moment. Militar slides and then gives it up to Keegan Kelly.
Militar wanted to do a little too much there. Tried to beat his defender with a little chop.
Here comes the counterattack. Yakubo, he's on sides. He shoots, and Rice just drops down to make a save. Not a whole challenge for Rice. It was straight to him.
Nice solid counterattack there from NCFC. A Tresha Mbuyu shot goes right into the hands of Rice as Lionsbridge continue this lead here early in the second half.
Lions Den getting into it, appreciative of the man in goal at the moment as reserves start to get loose for North Carolina as we are nearly 2/3 of the way through this one, and changes are going to have to be made soon to be rendered effective. Ian Bennett now to the outside, gets cleared by Simon Fitch. Now the 18 gives it up and back a little bit. They retreat, ultimately giving it to number 24, David Kupperman. And might be a foul on Jenkinson, I'm not sure, and they won't call it as Keegan Kelly maintains his possession. And after all is said and done, Kelly earns a foul as he's got to put his shoe back on, and that's ultimately where the call originates.
Keegan Kelly has been saucy down here on this left-hand side.
Saucy.
Mainly going at Robbie Jenkinson as he plays this ball in off Parker Washburn. But so far, nothing to show for it.
Ball bounces around for a moment before Jalon Brown settles it. And James Ellis got hit a little bit. And now a conversation between the official and Keegan Kelly. I'm not sure what that one's about. But the Bridge will get the ball back. And the Pride have been playing with just that this evening. Just looking for points here. Ball sent up and over the net, and I believe that was ultimately out of play. So Joe Rice will get the goal kick, and it's time for us to talk about Embrace Home Loans. At Embrace Home Loans, finding a mortgage designed just for you is precisely what we do. In fact, it's all we do. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance an existing mortgage, or consolidate high-interest debt, look no further than Embrace. Embrace Home Loans is a proud sponsor of Lionsbridge FC. .50 ball won by NCFC, and it's coming back the other direction. Now across the midfield, Ian Bennett, and Bennett will push to the outside to Rayon Choi. Choi now looks for Wakubu. No, forgive me, that's Tresser and Buyu. And now the counterattack will come for the Pride. 50-50 ball between Road and Militar is won by Road. And now back the other direction go the men of North Carolina. Now out of play. Now keep it in, and now another Joe Rice GK. And the running of the kids gets the crowd going here at 57 minutes. And Patrick, I don't know if you saw that, but one of the little girls running dropped her hat, looked back at it, thought about stopping to go and get it, and thought, no, I must continue on with this running or I will get trampled by all the kids behind me.
Yeah.
That's dedication to the run, man.
You got to watch that. And it's good to see the little kids running around with the flags, trying to get this crowd energized. As we see a little stoppage in play for the Marshal MacCartney injury. Looks to be cramping up. So that'd be unfortunate for him, his night, if that's to end.
MacCartney is coming back from an injury. And hey, parents, make sure to apply frog skin wraps before you ice your child's injury, as it is safer than plain ice, super soft, eases pain, and speeds recovery. Here at Lionsbridge FC, we are proud to provide our elite players with frog skin products. If you want more information, check out their website at frog-skin.com. That's frog-skin.com. As MacCartney is being worked on by the trainers here. And hopefully he's okay, but this will just add to stoppage time, really. And
hopefully he can carry on. He's been very solid tonight in that defensive midfield spot.
Both sides taking a water break as well. As I don't really care where the water comes from, whose bench it came off of. Both sides taking a sip from the communal watering hole. Got to stay hydrated in this weather, as if you don't, cramps are nearly inevitable. And so to come off will be MacCartney for a moment. And so Lionsbridge will play a man down. And so Jalon Brown will have to push back for the moment. 5 in the midfield, then 4 is the defense.
Marshal MacCartney looks to be ready to come back on as the ref waves him back on. Lionsbridge back at full strength now.
And always good to see your guys back in quickly, as injuries are no good.
Nobody wants an injury.
No, you never. I mean, you never really want, and regardless of who's playing. At least for me up here in the booth, you want to see the best players out in the field every single night. I mean, regardless of whether it's a fierce rival you're playing against or just a friendly, you want to be playing against the best. And so, if you're North Carolina FC, you hope that MacCartney's okay, and if you're a fan of Lionsbridge, you hope that nobody on North Carolina has to go down with an injury, as injuries are just good places to start for excuses. And if you can avoid those injuries, you can avoid those "oh, we didn't win because" comments. Also makes the game more fun when we've got the best players you can out there.
Exactly. We want some entertainment.
Are you not entertained? I certainly have been all season long here at Pomoco Stadium. As this team and this organization has certainly put out a product to this Newport News community that has been unmatched. I can't think of anything else in this Newport News community that could rival what this Lionsbridge organization has put out in its first year.
Yeah, this whole setup has been fantastic. As we see Marshal MacCartney go down once again, and it looks like this time he will have to check out of this game. Unfortunately for him, just coming off that injury. Hopefully it's not bad, but let's see who Lionsbridge and Chris Wally have up their sleeves to bring on.
So as MacCartney gets pulled off, I want to remind you that Riverside Sports Medicine is the Riverside Sports Medicine team, including Doctors J.R. Barley and Scott Kling, keep Lionsbridge players healthy and on the field. Riverside Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Lionsbridge FC's choice for everything sports medicine. And we'll wait to see who Chris Wally puts out there. It looks like
Gael Kisombe. It'll be a like-for-like substitution here. Kisombe plays that center defensive mid really well. And we'll see as the fourth official flashes the board here.
And we finally have a game where we have that board back.
Yep, it is Gael Kisombe coming on for Marshal MacCartney. Unfortunate for him. Played really well tonight.
So in comes 27, Gael Kisombe. Number 27 for this team. And off goes number 12, Marshal MacCartney.
And Gael Kisombe will just slide into that holding midfield role there. Big, huge presence now in midfield to help out Munts and Militar. And you know he's going to be flying into tackles.
But back to what we were talking about, this opportunity is killed momentarily, and it will be a goal kick here for Joe Rice. But this product really has been incredible. This team here, both from Mike Vest to Kevin Joyce to the rest of this founding group to head coach Chris Wally, all the way down to the interns who do a phenomenal job. Megan, Jillian, Andrew, Tammy, I'm missing one, Christian. They've all done a phenomenal job from top to bottom. This organization has been nothing but excellent so far, and it's been a pleasure to work with. But I think the impact in this community, as you can see by a pretty full crowd tonight, has been second to none.
Yeah, I know really well that these guys have been enjoying it. I know everybody working here has worked really hard to make sure this has happened, and they put it together really well. Excuse me there. I can't really talk.
This has been kind of a dream in the works for a little over a year now, and to finally see it in fruition, and their first season coming to an end here in the next week or two. Last home game going to be on July 15th against DC United U23. That should be a fun one here, as that friendly will close out our home season. But as you see it kind of come to a conclusion, I think that this team and this organization has kind of blown every expectation that the community and the team even had for themselves out of the water. And when I was talking to head coach Chris Wally about it, he said, this is a good place to be from as Kisombe pushes forward. We'll get to those comments in a second. He said this is a good place to be from, as this is a first-year team, right? So you got to recruit all of these guys, and you got to make players want to come here, and giving the players an excellent experience, giving the fans an excellent experience, and having this home field advantage that we have here at Pomoco Stadium makes players want to come here. And I think that this is just the beginning for Lionsbridge FC, as 21 will come off and 10 will go in. So Babakor Nji will go in for number 21, Dean Rutherford.
A really underwhelming performance here from Dean Rutherford. Unfortunately, thought he was going to be one of the stars here tonight for NCFC, as Babakar Njai checks in for him. And we see Parker Washburn, number 26, check out for number 11, Brennen Burton.
So Washburn's night is over as well. But a shot wide left.
And Trusser Mbuyu honestly probably could have gone down there, maybe won a penalty for NCFC, but it's good to see these guys staying on their feet, not trying to get any simulation calls.
And just kind of closing out this brief conversation about this first-year team, I mean, just obviously these cameras don't do it justice because we don't have a real good view of the crowd, but this is I mean, Pomoco Stadium is full tonight, Patrick, and whether it's for the soccer, for the fireworks, whatever you want to say, this is all for the community. And as we'll talk about that sub in just a moment, but this is, I would argue, the best home field advantage in the game, at least in the PDL.
Yeah, we've done really well here, not only tonight but all season. Mike Vest has put together a great selection of food trucks, great selection of bounce houses for the kids.
There's something, you're right. There's something for everybody, and another opportunity for the bridge goes squandered. But there's something for everybody. There's tradition. There's the food trucks. There's bounce houses. There's obviously great soccer, and the product that's on the field is just as good as the fan experience.
Yeah, exactly, and I know that is huge for these fans. They love a good outing every once in a while, whether it be on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Saturday night. And it's great to see all of these guys come out here tonight.
So a recent substitution for NCFC, and Batty boy, what we miss?
We saw Ian Bennett check off for number 22, Casey Brady.
Casey Brady into this one.
He's on the ball right here now.
Trying to communicate over with the press box. We got a glass wall in our way, trying to get the official attendance numbers for tonight, as there has been a request for those numbers, and the official number just shy of 2,300. There goes Jalen Brown. Brown's going to shoot, and a save from Will Palmquist. So that attendance number tonight, 2,295.
Dang, just 5 short.
I mean, you count me, you count you, count even the 5 interns. There are, I mean, that's just in ticket sales. I mean, you think about the people here for tradition, people here for the food trucks, the people volunteering. Over 2,300 people here.
It was great to see.
As we are in the 70th minute now. And eventually I think head coach Wally will start to sub some guys in. I think the other thing, Patrick, that's been impressive, at least with this team, something that happens a lot in the Premier Development League, is this attrition. You intentionally stack your roster with as many guys as you can, because you know as the summer goes on, you're going to lose some of them. That ball inside and cleared away. You know you're going to lose some, whether it's to injury or to people going home for the rest, deciding this is not what they wanted to do with their summer. I mean, these guys aren't paid to play on this team, as another sub will come in as 27 comes off. Tresser Mbuyu, and I believe that's Sheriff Seka going in. But you get a lot of this turnover here, and Lionsbridge hasn't seen a whole lot of it. A little here and there, but for the most part, these guys have stuck around most of the summer, whether they're on the reserves, whether they're on the practice squad, or whether they're playing full-time. They've really put in the work because they want to be here.
Yeah, and it's great to see. It's great to see these players come out week after week, show up, play some great soccer for the fans, for us. We love watching these guys, and hopefully we can keep these guys together for the next season as well.
And like we said, this is just the beginning. It can go nowhere but up. Here comes an opportunity. I mean, right now, third in the division. Behind this first place team, and a win tonight would pick up 3 big points. Put you at 15 points on the year and a record of 4-5-3. And an opportunity to finish their season above 500 with 2 games left.
And in their first season, that's absolutely great. That's more than you can ask for.
Nothing to hang your head at. And as we've got 4th of July fireworks coming after tonight's game. And on Saturday's game, you can get tickets to Saturday's game online at lionsbridgefc.com. And while you're there on lionsbridgefc.com, go to lionsbridgefc.com/allpro. You could win an official Lionsbridge FC backpack just like the players use, courtesy of All Pro Tactical. Like I said, go to lionsbridgefc.com/all pro. All Pro Tactical, tactical technology, all pro performance. And, you know, Patrick, I'm surprised I haven't heard any "We Want Chicken" chants yet tonight. As it seems to be a fan favorite, looking for that that goal off the header.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see. Chick-fil-A is a big sponsor here for Lionsbridge, giving out free coupons for Chick-fil-A biscuit, I believe.
I think it's a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah,
so
breakfast sandwich. Yeah.
Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit. I don't know if minis are included, but something on that breakfast menu.
It's really nice to see. I think these guys have just been enjoying the soccer so much tonight that they forgot.
And I think what they don't want to jinx is their chance at a free O'Doodle Doos donut. If you're in the stadium and the starting keeper tonight, Joe Rice, puts up a clean sheet, you get to go home with a coupon for a free donut. There goes Brennen. Burton's got 1 to beat. He's there on the 18. He might call his own number. He's going to give it up to Munts. Munts takes it in. 1-2. He stops, shoots, and just misses the net for Tia Munts. Wide left by about 2 feet.
Unfortunate there. Burton takes the ball away from number 5, Chase Road, about midfield. Sprints into the attack. Waits for some help. Picks out Fortia Munts. Fortia Munts beat a couple players and just slots the ball wide of the goal.
Good stop in by Burton. You see he hesitates there and then gives it up to Munts. Munts has to 1, 2, 3 touch it and just missed. Just a little bit too much curve on that ball, and he misses the net. And now the offensive push for NCFC has given the Bridge a couple of opportunities here offensively. That ball crossed back in. Munts will try to throw his foot on it, can't quite get there. Kisombe now goes after it, and Kisombe can't quite get there. He's much larger than the man in front of him. I believe that was Keegan Kelly.
Keegan Kelly has been everywhere tonight for NCFC. Just trying to get on the ball, showcase his moves, and trying to break down this feisty Lionsbridge FC defense.
And a yellow card assessed to Kisombe. Kisombe's going to run away from it. No, it's going to be given to Robbie Jenkinson. Hey kids, be sure to pick up your Lionsbridge FC team poster at our next home game. That's Saturday night against the Carolina Dynamo. To be signed at the post-game autograph session every single night. After 90 tough minutes of soccer, Lionsbridge FC players are always available to sign for an autograph session with kids after the game. Sponsored by Mosquito Joe, a proud partner of Lionsbridge FC.
That's awesome to see, Rob. I know these kids love it. Every single one of them goes down to the edge of the bleachers, waiting for those guys to come across the field to start signing their shirts, their hats, their shoes, and their posters.
Kids walking across the bleachers now, waving their flags. Typically it's a little bit of a run, but it looks like with the littler ones it is a parade of sorts, and it's getting the fans into it as they're cheering those kids and the pride on the field on. This goal kick is set to come from Joe Rice. Lionsbridge FC would like to recognize and thank Parkway Print Shop for their partnership and support during their inaugural 2018 season. For all your printing, apparel, and merchandise needs, check out Parkway Print Shop. Here comes a chance for North Carolina FC. And it's cleared. Not sure where NCFC is from. Somewhere in North Carolina, as are most of the teams in the South Atlantic, with the exception of Myrtle Beach, who's South Carolina. The rest of these teams are North Carolina, and we are the farthest most north team, or the northernmost team. There you go. Here in Newport News. Corner kick to come. This is the most dangerous opportunity of the half. It's low. It goes off one head, then cleared. Zombie clears that away. And this next 13 minutes is going to be huge defensively, as a clean sheet tonight would be incredible on the 4th of July weekend. Midweek. We're about halfway through this 4th of July weekend. And down goes Brown. Brown will grip at his knee, and the official will say play on, and so the Bridge will have to get the ball back, as it's not really impacting play. Brown staying down, and out of play it goes, and so the official will now stop play for Mr. Brown on the ground.
He's been quiet tonight. Really unusual for him. He did win that penalty.
And that was a key moment in tonight's game, is that penalty here. While we're waiting, follow the PDL on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for league news, interactive content, live games, and feature content. Select is the official ball sponsor and proud sponsor and partner of the PDL. See the latest product line from Select at selectsportamerica.com. Capelli is a proud sponsor of the PDL. Follow at Capelli Sport on Twitter for all the latest Capelli Sport information. And then last but not least, be sure to follow along here on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all of your most recent updates and news on your favorite PDL team, Lionsbridge FC. That's Lionsbridge FC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And use the hashtag #ThisIsOurBridge when documenting your experience at Pomoco Stadium. 79th minute now. We're getting into the later stages of this game. Almost 90% of the way through, and this final 10%, as you see Brennen and Burton saying, let's slow things down, let's calm down, we don't have to push it too much, and here in their defensive third, they need to be careful. Coaches all on the far sideline standing around Chris Wally as he kind of tries to orchestrate the Army there on the pitch. Possession has been maintained here by North Carolina as of late, with the exception of the quick counterattacks by Lionsbridge FC. Here comes one of them. Munts is going up the field looking for a ball, and slowing it down is James Lee. Now kicking to the far side, there goes Jalon Brown. Good feed from Militar. He's going to get sent all the way to the other side now to play for a deep corner. Now the parade of flags coming back down the other end. And a good stop by Munts, but Munts is going to get the yellow for it.
That's a late challenge there on number 24, David Kupperman. And it looked like Munts was trying to get out the way. He saw the ball go by him, but unfortunately, Kupperman runs through him as they shake hands and move on here tonight.
It's 5. I think that's 5 yellow cards tonight. If not, it's at least 4. Rode has 1, Jenkinson, Munts, and Rice all have 1. And I'm not sure if somebody else on the visiting men of North Carolina have 1. I have another one in addition to Chase Road. But there's definitely been at least 4, and it has been a chippy contest, but the Bridge have held strong, and as I said at the beginning, it might be a bend don't break mentality tonight, and so far the Bridge has bent just a little bit, but they haven't broken quite yet.
And that's good to see, especially with these fans. These fans are rocking right now. About 10 minutes left in this match, plus stoppage time. And you know these guys want that free donut from O'Doodle Doos.
Oh, Doodle Doo, yeah. Hey, it's time's running out on this contest. Time is also running out to sign up your kids for Lionsbridge Youth Summer Camps. There's one more camp next week, I believe. You can get more information on lionsbridgefc.com/camps. These camps are run by coaches and players and are a ton of fun as these week-long camps, they work on being clinical, as head coach Wally would say. Obviously, you're having fun. I'm assuming there's a little bit of scrimmaging going on, but picking up on the fundamentals of the game, and what more fun to do that with your favorite athletes on Lionsbridge FC. You're running out of time to do that. Make sure to sign up and get more information on lionsbridgefc.com. One nothing our score here in the 83rd minute. The goal came in the 44th, I believe, off of a penalty kick from Ivan Militar that was drawn from a Jalon Brown penalty on the extension of the 18. And a foul called, and this time it's number 10, NG, who's going to go after it and try to get an explanation. I think he wanted a PK, as he was close enough to the box, or about where Jalon Brown was when his PK got called. And I know when he stood back up, he gave a 3 to his fingers and said that's 3 times maybe.
Yeah, I think he was referring to Robbie Jenkinson going after him. Yeah, he definitely wants a card. Thought it should have been a yellow. Probably if Robbie Jenkinson didn't have a yellow already, probably would have gotten that yellow.
And Jenkinson was certainly sly in taking him down, as you couldn't tell based on the replay that he did it intentionally or at all.
The referee is just calming him down. Doesn't want to send a player off, especially this late in the match.
So free kick to come, this one from Rayong Choi. The ball is Munts and Ellis, waiting for the whistle. And the ball is cleared. Ignacio Larich is on here, or is coming on here for Rayong Choi, as Choi's day will be done. That ball up and around.
He falls to a corner. Larich almost on his first touch. Scores the goal, but it was blocked by, it looked like, Tom Devitt. And Kupperman will take this corner kick.
Corner kick is cleared. Tension starting to build as North Carolina is continuing to try to get that ball and pressure Rice a little bit.
We'll see a sub here for Lionsbridge FC, and it looks like Felix Kollmannthaler will be coming on. And the fourth official getting the numbers here.
As
It looks like Ivan Militar will be checking out.
Tom Devitt having a conversation with the official, and off goes Militar.
And the goal scorer here tonight checks out for the house cat, Felix Kollmannthaler.
The house cat. He's fun to watch.
I enjoy watching him, yes. Solid midfielder.
And Militar certainly taking his time there.
As Chris Wally brings on another CDM-like player in Kollmannthaler. Just trying to shut up shop here. Last 4 minutes of the match plus stoppage time. He wants to get these 3 points. And Kollmannthaler right into the action here. Great hold-up play here for Jalon Brown. He's looking to try and find James Ellis. He couldn't find him there. And NCFC going back down the other way.
And there it is, the We Want Chicken chance. Only took 88 minutes.
And is led by the kids here, not even the parents. So the kids really want that
Kids
chicken.
always want that chicken. Like, emphatic about it. Here comes a chance here for Lionsbridge, and this is a chance maybe not to earn their chicken, but to earn their donut here late. A great tackle there by Jenkinson. And I don't think that the man down low is going to be happy about it. NG.
As is a goal kick. The center ref has called a goal kick. So Jenkinson with a solid challenge there. Obviously went off of NJ. And the ref is over there talking to someone on the bench for North Carolina FC U23s.
The next home game, Lionsbridge FC, for Lionsbridge FC, will be this Saturday, July 7th against Carolina Dynamo. The pregame festival starts at 5 and the kickoff at 7 o'clock. About 7:08 if we want to be specific. And stick around after the game for another spectacular fireworks show. Advanced tickets can be purchased at Whole Foods Market on Jefferson Avenue, online at lionsbridgefc.com, or if you want to swing by the stadium before the end of the game tonight, you can do that as well in the festival area. I'd recommend, though, going right to lionsbridgefc.com/tickets and doing that right now and picking them up at Whole Foods later in the week. That's this Saturday, July 7th at Pomoco Stadium. Pick up those tickets at Whole Foods Market on Jefferson Avenue. Whole Foods is the official retail ticket outlet of Lionsbridge FC.
We got another substitution here for Lionsbridge as James Lee is looking to be checked into this match here.
As James Lee comes in, we'd like to thank Baystars FC for being our ball boys tonight, as well as Premier Sports, Newport News, Parks and Recreation and Tourism, the Mariners Museum, Christopher Newport University, our community those are our community partners. Our starting lineup partners: Buffalo Wild Wings, Sarah Harris Photography, One Life Fitness, Quality Productions, that's quality with a K, Frog Skin, Leap back into the game, Daily Press, Clancy and Thays Construction Company, Animal Medical Care Center. Our major partners: Vinny's Pizza and Pasta, Spacewalk, Parkway Print Shop, Off Leash Canine Training, O'Doodle Doos Donuts, Kona Ice, Embrace Home Loans, All Pro Tactical, and our top partners: Mosquito Joe, Tradition Brewing, and Whole Foods Market, as well as our presenting partners: Riverside Medical Group and Nike, and our jersey sponsor, Chick-fil-A. So 6 minutes of extra time, and Jalon Brown given the yellow. And quite a bit of yellow cards here tonight.
We did see James Lee come in for the injured Jamie Gunderson, so hopefully the outside back won't be injured for their next matchup here on Saturday.
Let's hope they can get to healing up here, but this could be a huge win. Like we said, 6 minutes of extra time. So 6 minutes, this team's got to hold their breath, or at least this home squad's got to hold their breath. Because like I've said, it's been a bend, don't break mentality all night against one of the best offenses in the league. And Lionsbridge FC, with their 22nd goal of the season tonight, that is good for the same number of goals North Carolina FC has scored all season, and they improved their plus-minus to a +3.
And that's as long as they can hold up for these last 4 or 5 minutes here, Rob.
That is correct. As the clock is continuing to run on the field, we have no idea how much time is left, but that free kick earned by Kisombe is huge, as the Bridge can take their sweet time taking this free kick. Official asking them to speed things up a little bit.
Jalon Brown has gone down with a cramp here. And you can see it's probably a little bit of gamemanship.
They're going to try to get Brown off quickly, and you see Keegan Kelly, and there's a kind of a mix of sportsmanship and come on, let's go, you're wasting our extra time here.
As Max Poelker checks in for Jalon Brown.
So Poelker in for the final moments of the game. The kids lining the front line of the bleachers ready for this autograph session, and hopefully a happy one at that. You gotta think that's a foul, at least advantage maybe. That ball is played to Poelker. Poelker's got James Lee, but he'll let it go all the way out of play for a Lionsbridge corner kick.
That's smart there by Max Poelker. He's gonna take a little bit of time off the clock. As you see, number 20, Walid Yakubu go get the ball for Lionsbridge, trying to speed things up. They'll probably just pass the ball down in this corner. And you see Gael Kisombe go over there. He's probably going to shield the ball in the corner, so this NCFC team can't get it.
And another corner coming.
And there you go. Here's Kisombe. And then win another throw-in. Good gamesmanship here by Lionsbridge, just trying to waste as much time as possible to pick up these 3 points. They're going to throw to Kisombe again. And Kisombe is called for the foul, so NCFC will have another opportunity here right before the end of the match. Late challenge there by Max Poelker on number 5.
And Poelker's given the yellow, and the official invites him to be a little more constructive with his feedback. And the peanut gallery in front of us, that is the Lionsbridge faithful, giving North Carolina FC all they can handle as far as jeers are concerned. Ball lofted up. And it's still in play and cleared for a moment, then sent back in. Joe Rice is going to have to pick it up, knocks it back down, and he'll wait until he absolutely has to fall on it, and does just that. I'm hesitant to call this one final until the whistle blows, but I'm ready to as soon as the official blows his final horn. Across midfield, and as far as Rice can send it, he does just that. Ball bouncing around, and Lionsbridge trying to get possession back on it.
Great first touch there by Fortia Munts. He's
Aggressive
back on the ball.
play, Munts. Just going to push it forward to Will Palmquist, and Palmquist tries to play it ahead quickly. Nice takeaway there from James Ellis. Be sure to stick around for some post-game analysis from Patrick and I, and then we'll get to a quick post-game interview with head coach Chris Wally. And if things stay the way they are, it'll be
late corner.
Joe Rice with him. So it's time to earn that O'Doodle-Doo's donut with this defensive play of the game.
Will Palmquist coming up. They're going to wait for him. They're throwing everybody into the box. It looks like
it doesn't make any sense leaving somebody one man back, and they'll push Palmquist back. And moving forward, Sheriff Secca. That ball up in the air. It gets headed away by James Lee. Makes a good defensive effort. And Fortia Munts clears it away. And Lionsbridge FC wins the contest. They pick up a big 3 points against the top team in the division. And they improve to 4, 5, and 3. 15 points in the South Atlantic Division. North Carolina FC will fall to 6, 3, and 4. But they still sit atop this South Atlantic Division, a few points ahead of the Mutiny of Myrtle Beach. Patrick, let's start breaking this thing down. What was the big turning point in tonight's contest?
That big turning point was the counterattack from Jalon Brown when he was brought down by Yakubu, number 20, the outside back from NCFC for the penalty. Ivan Militar slots the penalty home, and from there they never looked back. They turned the momentum, went on, kept up their great defensive performance, and eventually won the game here tonight.
So Lionsbridge FC picks up the win, and we will talk with Joe Rice and head coach Chris Wally in just a moment as the autograph session is about to start, and the fans give their home team a great cheer as they certainly saw a great performance tonight, and we'll see fireworks in just a moment. Big turning point tonight, you're absolutely right, was the play from Jalon Brown and the goal from Ivan Militar gave the momentum to the Bridge going into the half, and they certainly held that defensive bend don't break mentality as the Bridge was strong tonight. We'll be right back. Thanks to all of our sponsors, to Mike Santamoro, Julian Santamoro, Austin and Christian Urch, as well as Austin Gregory and the production crew. Patrick, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
Patrick, you did a great job. I'm Rob Smith saying so long for now. We'll be right back in about 5 minutes with those post-game interviews. You've been watching Lionsbridge FC Soccer on Facebook.com/Lionsbridge.